Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. Who doesn't want to drink aged, bourbon barrel aged beer? Come on now. We love that here. We love aged beer. We love barrel aged beer. Budweiser. Copper Lager. Jim Beam. I don't know. I don't even know how old this beer is. It's been staring at me. I go to this little tiny little itty bitty place every now and then to grab beers. Not that big, but oddly enough, they have a unique kind of selection of randomness. I've been staring at this thing for a while, like a couple of years. I think this is actually from 2018, so that's how old this beer is. Maybe we'll find out in the bottle for sure, but when I did a little bit of sleuthing online, I think it might be that old, so you're talking about a 6-year-old bud that we're going to be drinking today. But today I was just like, you know what, screw it. The place that I go to, I don't go to a ton because it's not along my way. Well, now it is my new job, so I just popped in there. I was like, you know what, screw it. How much is this? The price point said $12. I was like, just for novelty's sake, we're going to dive into it. So we're talking about, it's a Jim Beam whiskey stave aged, I believe, and there's probably more about that in here. So they basically stave or chip the beechwood, maybe staves or beechwood chips they do with Budweiser. They soak those in Jim Beam, and then that's what they use that for. I think that's the process here. But that's pretty much it. The box is the box. Just, it's actually kind of a nice box. It's got a little sticker on it, little Budweiser golden seal sticker. We'll peel that off, see if we can get it off in one piece, and then it's got your typical. Let's slide that plastic front off. Pull this. Ooh. Oh wow, that's actually like held in there by, they have this like press fit plastic piece. It's actually a really nice box for such a cheap beer. And there you go, foil top. We're getting all fancy up in this piece. We have here 22 ounces, 6.2%, so higher ABV. The Reserve Collection. Okay, it is from 2018. You want to know how I know? It says best before February 13th, 2019. So I'm assuming this was made in February of 2018. A year would make sense for this beer. Age on Real Barrel Staves. So Jim Beam Barrel Staves, brewed on Reserve Collection. This is going to be really interesting to drink this beer, being that it's that old. 6.2%. It says here, this is a flavorful American copper lager brewed with 2-row barley and aged on real Jim Beam bourbon barrel staves for a toasted oak aroma, a deliciously nutty taste with caramel, rye, and vanilla notes, and a smooth finish. 22 ounces. That's all we got. Well, it's all right, you know. It's Budweiser. It is what it is. So let's do it to it, man. 6-year-old Bud. Nice little hiss on it. I mean, it's Budweiser, so chances are, man, let's make it fancy. It's it's pasteurized, so there's nothing. I doubt we're gonna get anything negative as far as sourness or infection or anything like that on this beer. But it can still morph. It can still change with time. So I'm curious to see what it goes. It has a twisty. It still comes with a twisty, man. Jesus Christ. I should have twisted it off. That would have been so much more funner. Yeah, generic stuff. I mean, listen. Soft haze to it. Definitely has a little bit of haze to it. Definitely looks quite a bit darker than what you'd expect a Budweiser to look like, obviously. But it's a copper lager. It's not the traditional Bud. It has a nice head on it, so it's retained carbonation really well. If I hold this up to the light, I actually see a decent amount of kind of like, almost like champagne-like kind of carbonation. And it probably looks a little darker on camera than it actually is. It comes off a little bit more just like generic iced tea is kind of the look it comes from it. So it has that nice maple colored head to it. Give it a little whirl. See if we can get a nose. Okay. There's definitely a whiskey bourbon kind of thing going on here. And there's definitely a vanilla thing going on here. There's not much here as far as beer. Soft generic malt, not really much as far as hops. Wouldn't really expect that, to be perfectly honest with you, even from a hyper fresh one. But there's this vanilla portion of the show, this little spirit portion of the show, this little whiskey portion of the show, and there's a little bit of caramel in there. I think that's the actual age on this, kind of propping that up a little bit and making it a little bit more caramelly. Not going to lie to you. For a 6.2% beer, it smells quite nice. As an aged lager, 6.2% on whiskey staves, I'm not going to sit here and say I hate it. Definitely smells nothing like what you'd expect from a traditional Budweiser, but also doesn't smell too bad. That caramel portion of the show is growing bigger on each huff. And I think it's a really cool kind of thing to pull out of a beer from a brewery like this. So we're just going to dive in. Cheers, y'all. That's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. It's got a little bit of oxidation going on with it. There's a little wet paper baggy. I think that's accentuated by that vanilla oakiness. I think that oak tannin, that dryness, kind of accentuates a little bit of that oxidation, but it's not a ton. And honestly, a touch of oxidation in beers like this aren't necessarily a bad thing or a negative thing, at least for me. And that caramel slash vanilla thing really does ring true in the beer. The stavey spirit portion of this is really the leader in the clubhouse. It's not boozy, it's not hyper aggressive, but when you're talking about a 6.2% American adjunct lager, well, you're talking about a Budweiser 2.2% lager, albeit a copper lager, not their traditional American macro lager. I don't know what this tasted like when it was first released, but it's kind of held up pretty cool for what it is. I'm not going to sit here and gush over it. I'm not going to sit here and say this is one of the better barrel-aged beers I've ever had or one of the best aged beers I've had, but as an experiment for something that is unique for a brewery like this. Obviously, it's Goose Island. At that point, they own Goose Island. They did a bunch of barrel stuff. It's not like they don't have that stuff in their repertoire. But to take the Budweiser side of things, to do it a lager and to do it with Jim Beam is just such a unique combination. And to get it aged, to get it at, albeit pretty much at least 6 years old, is a fun little goof. Mouth feels fine. That little oxidation tempers a little bit, but not really bad. Definitely doesn't come off thin. Like I said, it still has a nice carbonation to it, so it's got that going for it. And really, it's trying to delineate where the beer comes into play on this, because it really is, there's this caramelly thing, which I think is an oxidative age combination thing with the malt that has started to bring this beer towards that caramel. And that caramel you typically get from a lot of higher ABV barley wines, you're getting that in here, but obviously not at that kind of volumetric level. And then you have that whiskey portion of the show, not hot. Again, 6.2% probably wasn't a big boozy beer to begin with, but you're definitely getting that flavor profile in there. And then when you combine it with the absolute leader in the clubhouse from the barrel itself is that vanilla tone, that vanilla oakiness from those staves, in combination with that caramel, which I'm almost certain wasn't there at the beginning of this beer's life cycle. I think it's a fun beer. For $12, the pomp, the uniqueness, what it is, I think it's a really fun beer. I think it's a really fun goof. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm glad I picked it up. If anybody wants these, I don't even know if this is I'm sure it's not a rare beer, but that's kind of weird that they still float around on shelves. The place I got it at had several of them, so if you want to know where I got it, feel free to reach out. You're more than welcome to go grab one. But it's a fun experience, you know what I mean, to have something like this from AB InBev, from Budweiser, and have it hold up this well over this much time at such a low ABV, and that barrel aging thing with their kind of beers not being their forte. I think it's cool. I think it's fun. I'm glad I picked it up, like I said. So, caramel vibes, decent mouthfeel for its age and barreling. Vanilla definitely comes through, marries well with that cool kind of caramelness from that age portion of the show. Done and done. It's one of the better barrel-aged beers I've had as of late. No. Is it one of the better lagers I've had as of late? No. Is it one of the more funner beers that I've had as late? Yeah, probably. Mount Rushmore status for that, no, but yeah. It's a fun beer. It's one of the better Budweisers I've had as late. Well, it would default to number one on that, because, I reviewed a Budweiser not too long ago with Budvar. I think this is better than that. Let's put it that way. And it's a fun, goofy take and a fun little, adventure. Not adventure. Science? Are we doing science here? I don't know. It was fun. End sentence. Budweiser, have you been to the brewery? Can you even go visit a Budweiser brewery? I don't even know if that's a thing. I know Budweiser. I live not too far away from gigantic Budweiser brewery. Jesus, words are hard sometimes. I don't even know if you can go there and drink Bud. I don't know if that's a thing you can do. If you have, let me know. Have you had this beer? I always say, what's your favorite beer? Well, what's your favorite Bud beer? Is it Bud Light or Bud? I don't know. Whatever, Max, Crown, whatever. This beer. I really want to know if you've had this beer. If you've had it, if you had it fresh, have you had it aged, anything in between. If you've had it, let me know down there your experience with this beer. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Is this a Mass Beer Review Classic? I don't think so. Hopefully you enjoyed this beer review. Hopefully enjoying a little bit of barrel aged beer right now. Maybe a little better than this one, but hope to see you next time. Cheers, y'all.